so bad. She is into everything, everything, everything. No, I haven't tried pointing at her yet. I'm always chasing behind her. She's so bad. Streets are crazy, people. The streets are crazy. Yeah, I should. I should be armed with cameras everywhere. I've tried to keep current. I've been with the flooding, and I'm trying to cook for my neighbor whose wife, has been hospitalized. It's like cooking for my family again, but um I don't I don't even know what to say. I think that I think that I always say I try, hey there, she's coming home tonight. He actually just went to pick her up tonight. She's doing pretty good for having a brain aneurysm. All right, so maybe you get to see this in real time here. How when she's done, she's done. Hello. Oh, Tatey. Oh, he's got to groom his little toes. Got to groom his little toe beans. It's just a matter of time. So I think, what I started to say was I always say I try not to judge people like the overall person, but judge actions and behaviors and maybe not judge, just form an opinion and really have an opinion on just that. Until it's face liquor, he was just out here. Until it's she's done. Until it's pervasive and it's their they demonstrate patterns and repeated behavior, and you know you can kind of judge what kind of moral character they are, their moral character, from that. My neighbor had a brain aneurysm a month ago. But what I'm seeing, like, there are some people like Hippie Harley, Gabby, I watched them long enough to know this is who they are. This is really who they are. I do not have a formal catio, but I have some Temu mesh things. They'll eventually have a catio. Just not sure where, because I want to put an outdoor shower and some other things on here. So anyway, but obviously I formed opinions on their bad behavior, but yeah, Kelly too. I've watched enough to realize she is who she is, and I feel pretty confident saying that the people that are on here saying the loudest, they don't give a fuck. They really do. They really do give a fuck, because they can't stop talking about not giving a fuck. And honestly, she is becoming a new episode. you know, when I tell you that I really could care less what Kaylee has to say about me. I appreciate that so many of you are standing up for me. And, it's, of course, it's annoying, but I feel zero need to speak out. And that's what she's wanted me to do constantly. She is entirely rage bait. And now some other people are as well, which is disappointing, but it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. There's nothing to expose. I know that. I've been waiting for it. I knew she stalled yesterday. I don't know if she went on live last night or not, but I don't care. I really don't care. She can say things, and this is how an insecure narcissist does operate. They take like a small piece of information, like this whole bit about I support DV because I support PPP. Well, I support PPP because she's endured the most, the foulest, the longest, the lowest from Kaylee. It's immature and insecure behavior. To be honest, I don't even know what she's saying about Gabby or Cam or any about that. I was talking about Kaylee. And she can have her people in her chat confirm and, and say what they want to say. It really doesn't bother me. If I wanted to, I could analyze everything she's saying. I could analyze what Rob is saying. You can get on here and say, it's an adult conversation, and I'm not gonna, those are just words. Those are just words, adult conversation. If you're really trying to have an adult conversation, that's not what you do. And it really is funny to me, the people that are the loudest, that rage bait, they're loud. They want you to think that they're in control, and they're pretty impressed with themselves. But one little criticism and they fly off the handle. I think that is probably the biggest hypocrisy on here. Is so many people can dish it out, but they can't take it. They really can't take it. Hey there. Hey, everyone. Yeah, the egos are wild. They are. Yeah. To come on and say she derailed something and she has control, it is laughable. It's laughable. It's laughable. But let her think that. Let her crew, confirm that. It's fine. That's fine. Let me address Casey, since I'm not addressing this for Kaylee. I'm addressing this for any of you that, might really question what I'm doing. Because I've seen people say, I'm just using Casey for information, to get information for Feisty or whatever. What I said the very first night that I went in her box was that I couldn't support her. Like, I welcome her with open arms into, my community or my group, but I give her credit. I give her credit for admitting what she's done. And as far as I'm concerned, and I told her, I would help her do what I perceive to be doing the right thing, to not make amends, but mitigate to any extent the damage that she's done. And by mitigate, I mean genuinely and transparently give people the information that you found and you gave to Kaylee, because there's not a person on this app that can convince me that Kaylee didn't know everything that was going on. I mean, it's her responsibility as the leader, right? As the mother. It's her responsibility, whether she gets on here and admits it or not. And I said I would help her do that. And that is what I have been doing. That's what I've been listening to her. I've been telling her what I recommend she does. And sometimes she doesn't listen to me because she's impulsive. She's reacting. You know, it's a stressful situation. But yes, I was a mod for 10 minutes because she didn't have any mods and she needed to step away. And Kaylee's crew were saying some pretty vulgar things in the comments about me, and I enjoyed my 10 minutes of muting and blocking. I've never had a chance to do that before. And now I can relate to mods that enjoy that. I know sometimes when spreads and my mods are racing to get to that person. And she unmodded me as soon as she came back. Yeah, I see some comments about Kaylee was doing it long before Casey. I believe, I don't know that for a fact because I don't watch her, but I do, just to be transparent, I've recommended that Casey stop sharing the text messages. And let me while I'm rambling, let me just say this. Doxing is used inappropriately sometimes. And I think there's different levels. There's different levels. And I think if you look at all the different, or study and these different state laws and on cyberbullying and doxing and all of that, a lot of them, most of them, have language that is based on intent. And for Casey randomly was sharing Gabby's text the other night. She didn't intend to do that. She wanted to be transparent with people when she threw things up. I know she had Whitney's name. Does anybody believe that was intentional? I think she just wasn't looking at it because she paused and went back to scratch it out. So I don't absolutely can be criticized for that, and she's responsible for it. But what I'm talking about is intent. What I've seen from Casey is just, she's she's rough and she's raw, but I have seen a willingness to be forthright and honest. And why in the hell is she gonna lie about one small thing when she's just admitted to all these terrible things? So anyway, I have advised her that she only stop sharing stuff publicly, because what they want to do is use that, whatever she puts out there, to exonerate and I'm just speaking figuratively, to exonerate Kaylee. And give the documentation, include text messages and whatever she's gotten from Discord, the data, the encrypted data, all of that. Give it to the people who are genuinely interested in holding not others, holding Kaylee and others, holding everybody who did something responsible. So I think she appreciates my advice. I think she's been following it. Sometimes she's learning some things as she goes here, but that's the extent of my involvement. And I will continue to try to guide her because she is the only person that I see that is willing to take any responsibility, no matter how vile, no matter. And we all can have an opinion on whether her motivation was she really thought Gabby was being bullied or not. We can have opinions on that. But it doesn't really matter. She drew a line in the sand and she stopped, and she's trying. I forgot to start off here, I'm not going to do boxes unless it's one of my mods that wants to come up. Yeah, I am not going to do boxes because I think that I don't want things. Everybody is so emotionally charged. Pookie, you got a kitty? Wait, I think I saw a message from you. Listen, I am smart and I appreciate the people that are telling me that to be careful. I've worked, Kelly says that I have some credentials. I've had a training course. Someday I'll tell you about my career, but I've done hundreds of investigations on what people have done and said, and I am a pretty good judge of character, and I'm a pretty good judge of how people are. Oh, now Tady's in the box. What their motivations are and what's coming next. But anyway, that's where we're at. I'm helping Casey get everything off of her plate to the people that want to use it. I got to tell you guys, I enjoy doing the Gabby recaps, my little notes, and I talk quickly. But recap is really getting to be overused. People come in, recap. We joked about filtering that word, but I did see Temptations. I didn't even tag them, and I'm following them now, of course, because she should get a brand deal. All the Temptations I go through. Anyway, yeah, Sarah will just say we hate it. But what's happening now is it's so off the charts, and it's so offensive. So offensive to me. Is this live or replay? Yeah, that's another good one. I have a lot of, I don't care if somebody wants to rage bait and just, spark angry debate, or like that can be who they are. But there are lines that have been crossed, and not everything is the same. Is Sonic shedding? Thank you. Not every lie, not every dark humor is the same. And it just amazes me how some of these characters will not take one iota of responsibility for things. Like, it's either all or nothing, and it's nothing for some people. But I think the hardest part for me is, and because I am somebody that has never, ever, ever, ever judged people on who they follow or not. I really don't care, or who they despise or not. And I don't mind being transparent about that. Like, I mean, I guess, it's probably my career. I have had literally thousands of difficult discussions. And the easiest way is you just acknowledge, like, I acknowledge that people very much dislike other people on here. And that is okay to a certain extent. Some lines shouldn't be crossed, but that's what the real shame is here, is that friend groups who had those same understandings of, you might not care for this person or whatever, are really getting torn apart because, okay, Swifty. All right, I'm going to say, let me be transparent. let me acknowledge the elephant in the room. Yes, Swifty, Christy Brewer. I think I saw her in here too. Both of those folks are by far the most controversial people that I associate with. They have both been so extremely courteous to me. And I'm not saying they haven't done things in bad, but both of them, I just, they will listen to, they allow me to give them advice, and they can take it or not. But, again, I have not seen anything. Find out. Everybody has a right to dislike them or harbor grudges for things they've done in the past. I mean, that's okay. But it shouldn't wreck a whole community that has the same primary goal. But I did lose my train of thought when Jess called herself out there in the comments. I just think that is the most shame, is that friend groups are really divided. But I can't say that I blame them, because I do think some lines have been crossed, and there's, sometimes there's no going back from that. And, that was my biggest problem with Rob saying it was an adult conversation and he was catching help because people wanted him to dislike her. He's so far off. Like, he just is so far off. And I do think that there are things behind the scenes that are motivating people, and, some of us don't know about. But yeah, I think if you're not, I don't know, maybe because I'm at the age that I am, and I have life experience, and I feel like I'm pretty wise. But success in life, I really can't be measured by how many coins you collect because you're a rage baiter and you have a core group of people that is going to affirm and pat you on the back for everything they do. And what I have learned most in my personal life, being married to a diagnosed narcissist for 23 years, but I still fall into this trap sometimes, is trying to reason and use logic, which is what I tried to do with Gabby a little bit, and I started to try to do with Kaylee. Just tried to reason, tried to enlighten her, and you just can't. You can't. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think there are someone, I just, this whole DV joke and dark humor, like, he can think that way. He can make the joke. But if you care about the people that support you, you will at least listen to what their feedback is. And you should really pay attention and listen closely when you have so many people of the same opinion that is contrary to yours. Um, but what did he do? He went into another live and said, hashtag hit your wife. Like, that is just, I mean, it's beyond immature. But, Rob doesn't give a fuck what anybody thinks. So I do think that, I think that, there will be, I don't want to use the word consequences, but, you will lose a following, you will lose support when you act like an asshole. I mean, it's, right, find out. I agree. If you don't care that you insult people, but you go insane when somebody criticizes something about you, it doesn't that doesn't jive very well. And that's the pattern I see with Kaylee too, is that she can really dish out foul things, but she really can't take any kind of criticism at all. Right. Absolutely. There are just some things that are offensive. So offensive, and we all know it's offensive. I mean, if you didn't know it's offensive, you have a whole lot of people telling you that's hurtful and that's not funny. And even, like I said, even if that is your dark humor, you just, put it away for a little bit. Do it in your real life, not publicly on the internet. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I do agree to that. He can run it, his platform, however the hell he wants to. He can. He absolutely can. Hello. Hello. He can run it with less support. Exactly. I think it was Megan just said, is this why? Is this really the person you are? I don't. I do think when people get on here and they go viral or they get a large following and people are throwing them gifts and there's like really unwavering support, I think it can change your character. But in your confidence, your, entitlement, those kind of things. But I've never seen somebody go this direction. And It's reckless. That's a good word. Reckless is a good word. Good point. Find out. Hello. I just got on to try to calm the vibe, settle the streets down. The recap is that I was just giving my observations on what's happening in the streets and, in my opinion, what I think is okay and what's not. Does anybody have any questions while I'm here? I don't want to open up boxes. He's streaming me. That's okay. I don't want to open up boxes because I just feel like everybody, not everybody, but so many people are emotionally charged right now. I really just wanted to do the check-in. Thanks, Blonde Flamingo. I guess I don't know Wit as well because we were, streaming at the same time for the most part when Gabby was on. But I think that I became a big fan with the reading of Gabby's book. I love that so much. She was brilliant in that. And so while I haven't been in her recovery lives, this kind of puts me on the spot. I feel like if she stepped into this role with Rob, and listen, let's face it, they've gotten some money on here. They've gotten gifts. They've gotten financial support. And, if this was a direction that they thought it was going to continue, I don't know, maybe they were testing something out. What really makes me disappointed is knowing that mods and friends have tried to talk to her privately about it and, have just been shut down. Listen, I am going to do a mod. Good point. Find out's bringing the wise facts tonight. I'm going to do a mod appreciation night for my mods, but right now they don't want to stick their necks out in any of this. But I'm going to do a night, have them in boxes. We're going to play Truth, Truth, and a Lie with them so you can get to learn a few little facts about them. I love that game. Always find out something really surprising. I'll turn gifts on because I want people to be able to gift them because and if you don't know, my mods are my friends. This is my personal group of TikTok friends. I've invited them to my home. A couple have come. I really trust them with everything, with everything that I do and say. They have my back all the time. And, we don't all agree on who we dislike. I mean, for the most part we do, because I say we always say I think we're the only sane people on this app. But I do think it's kind of validation when something controversial happens or somebody does something controversial and we all sort of agree on it. But we haven't. We haven't on certain creators, just some have disliked. And but anyway, I do want to do that for them, because I do appreciate them. Two Texans and a Georgia lady. Somebody said today in a conversation, Sarah Smile is a pink junior or something like that. And I said, oh, Sarah. I gave Sarah my phone number within the first hour of sending her a message on TikTok. Yeah, Sarah's my vibe. She thinks things through intellectually. She doesn't feel the need to come out and Sarah without the H. But yeah, she's, yeah, she is. So I do have a lot of other things. I came over here on my Fearless account because I wasn't sure about getting reported or anything like that. But I have a lot of ideas about just different things to do, themed things on my Think Pink account. I want to do a breast cancer awareness. I want to do some. Did you want to say hello? He might be making some biscuits here. He's making some biscuits for y'all. So yesterday, I got 3 of Tinker's paws, the nails cut on 3, and Tatey 1. I got 3 to go. Right? Right? Is that right? He's not a face licker. He will not touch my... but so I'm just sharing some of my ideas. So I want to do breast cancer. I really want to do... I really want to highlight some of the very interesting people. Where's Tink? I don't know where Tink is. The very interesting people that follow me. And not for, of course I want people to build their accounts if they need followers, but I think I would like to, both people that follow me that have, I'm drawing a blank in here, Homestead. Homestead, are you in here? She sent me a message asking for some cat advice, and I saw she was live, and I went in, and, I just had never had a chance to look at her content, and it's just fascinating to me, all the different canning and, everything that she does. So I just kind of, I just want to do that. The other thing I want to do, I want to offer this. I have to figure it out. But, I told you before, 222, write them down. I'll put you on a committee. We'll have some committees to plan. I'm struggling with the messages. I adore and I humbly appreciate that people just want to chat with me. And I feel really rude if I can't answer something. And I know I've connected with people, and I was going to get back with them last week. And then just, I don't know, things have been crazy, but there's probably half a dozen people that have said to me as we were chatting back and forth, like, I really do not have, I don't have friends. Like, I'm whatever, confined in my house. I don't get off for whatever reason, whether it's illness or by choice or whatever. Um, I really enjoy just chatting in your comments. And I thought, you know what? I could probably make I could probably get people connected based on a common shared interest. I could start some TikTok group chats where people can, just take it from there. If they, some people are really chatty and they want to chat all day long, so they can find some like-minded people that just like to chat about cats or, homeschooling or different things like the Pink Connection. Um, yeah, I did that. I ran a mentoring program at one point in my career, but I much rather enjoyed working with large groups of people and seeing when you do breakout sessions and all that, seeing the connection made with people. Because um, once you start like literally connecting with people, if you take a trip with somebody and you're in a car, for 4 or 5 hours, unless you really dislike the person, you do generally create a bond. It doesn't mean it's going to be a friendship. Yeah, I'm butterfly. I saw you asked that on, I think it was in a comment, but yes, I've done, I've done all kinds of I've done every human resource related developmental training and every other program under the sun. But my calming, which people tell me is my skill set of looking things rationally, that's from doing labor relations for 25 years and dealing with grievances and discipline and hearings and investigations and confrontation. Yeah, see, like recipes, that kind of thing. So anyway, retire. Yeah, so this is what I want to do. Could I be your life coach? I do give advice. I do give I'm told I give good advice. Um I thought gossip column is tricky. That is dating after 50. I'd probably, although I don't know. I'd like to talk about it. I'd like to talk about dating, but I have very extreme opinions on whether I really want to ever like be in a relationship. Like we are set in our ways, and I just don't know what I need. I need a long distance relationship. That's what I need. Like, I need my freedom, my independence. I'll see you like once a month. That's good for me. But anyway, that is a good point. Different people, like newly separated. My idea, because I mean, we've grown through the TikTok drama, but I think that it's still manageable. My idea was that I was just going to make some questionnaire of, and I think, well, in TikTok group chats, I think you can have 30 some people is the max, but I don't think you can send pictures or memes. So maybe some in Discord, you can do that in Reddit. I'm good at setting, you're going to do the deep dive. I'm not even going to make a joke about Casey doing a background check for me, because that's in poor taste. But I was thinking about just like putting up all these different categories that I could think of. Yeah, Discord would work well. And just I can set up all the chats. I can make the connections And then, oh, I love, I love to talk about HR things. I love to prep people for interviews. I like to help people um, create the resumes, like what is important to highlight, what is not important. I'll give you a tip right now. One of the most important things you can do when you're putting your resume together, you should look at your resume with every job that you apply for. A lot of people, they do the resume or they have it professionally done and they make 100 copies and they send it out. What you should do is you should look at the job description or the job announcement that you are applying for. And what you need to do is tailor your experience. And I do not mean embellish or lie or anything like that. But you want to look at the verbiage, particularly the keywords like analysis. If analysis is part of that, you want to make sure your resume includes any type of analysis that you did, whether it's data analysis or any kind of problem solving. I can lift. Yeah, and I think the other piece of just fundamental advice that I give people when they're going for interviews is when you're asked for your experience, and this is particularly helpful for younger people just, coming out of college or high school and they're going, right into their first grown-up job and you don't have experience. You did get the job, good for you. Is you should always, congratulations, you should always emphasize your knowledge. Maybe you don't have experience. One of the, in the old school, one of the standard old school questions is, what did you do to prepare for this interview? Which is I really don't like that. But study up on the company, the organization, the actual job, it is always beneficial to share what even if you're right, your knowledge of things, even if you gain that knowledge just a couple weeks before. It is always impressive to an employer in an interview panel that you've made an effort to learn about things. Listen, I think one of the reasons I was really successful in my job is because I dealt with everyone from heavy equipment operators and janitors that couldn't read or write up to the governor's staff in my job. And you have to be, well, you don't have to, but it's definitely it's a redeeming quality to be able to deal with people at all levels in life. So I have had, to help people do their resumes that, really weren't. Performance expectations. Yeah. Performance expectations and performance reviews. I've done a lot of coaching on that because it's really hard to supervise and manage. I retired in 2023. Not everyone is cut out to be a supervisor and manage people. It's difficult. It's difficult to be honest when you're reviewing performance, because I do miss it. I have always said that I was going to do consulting. part-time, and then I got wrapped up in TikTok drama and I don't have any time. Performance reviews. But anyway, just some, and it's not just your technical skills, like for a diesel mechanic, where I worked for the Department of Transportation in Pennsylvania. It's not just turning wrenches and learning it's other things. It is getting along, your ability to get along with coworkers and your attendance and, all of those things, all scrolling TikTok. I think there's probably some kind of job. All of those. I saw a picture of Missy with a ring, but I didn't get to read about it yet. Do you tattle and cause problems? Kinda. Kelly, I don't really like to. Yeah, she wouldn't understand. But yeah, I do like to talk about. He's in your space. I understand that. I understand that. You prep college. Interesting. That's good. You can pick my brain. We'll do you can either do an open session or you can message me. HR is not, at least the hard part. I mean, there's a lot of jobs in HR, a lot of program areas like benefits and, doing transactions and payroll and those kind of things. How do you give advice? I can give advice on that. I mean, it's not an easy thing that I can just throw out, but it does. So since I worked in, I've got the puzzle piece, sorry. Since I worked in government, there really wasn't merit-based increases based on your performance. It was generally just based on longevity, like once a year. And also management typically followed what the union negotiated in terms of annual increases. But there was an opportunity in government for, it's called an exceptional pay increase, where if you go above and beyond, there's an opportunity to write justification. But I'd have to know those things, like how your company does or your employer does. Does picking up a little 5 lingo, does give increases, and whether they're merit based or 38. I did 37. Sometime I'm going to get my friend Steve, who is the head of HR now in PennDOT. I don't know if he'll talk, but I have one of the most wild investigation stories. You just can't believe. You can't believe what we went through. And it involves one of the Pred Hunter groups like Rob's involved in. I'll just say that. I learned a lot about these independent online Pred Hunters. I never knew that there were so many groups out there that did that. But yeah, I became very familiar. And it's a whole story. It's like a whole story. I need Steve because it's like stand-up comedy when he and I tell people this. Um, but yeah, anyway, I learned a lot about those. And interestingly enough, and I don't know anything about if Rob works alone or if he that well, Lotus, I don't know about that. What I found interesting when I was learning is how it's up to local law enforcement. Some of them value that and some of them don't. Some law enforcement feels like it is infringing on their jobs and they don't want the headache. But the reality is that these groups do acquire a lot of the evidence and it does need to be validated, but predator, like child predators online, people posing as whatever to go meet to meet minors. That's what Pred Hunters is. But I wasn't aware of those type of groups until I was involved in this one case. Yeah. Yep. But oh no. It's like the volunteer for the most part. I think they're all volunteer organizations. I don't think there's any grant money or any I don't think there's any investment. I think it's all donor based, but I don't know. Tink is she's over here. You can do a check-in. I just wanted to are they actually sheriff's employees though, or are they like citizen volunteers? I don't know why my camera's not flipping. See the sleepy eyes? You've had a rough day. You've been chasing. Did everybody see his spin today? He was chasing Tink all over the house all morning. And then he went to take one little spin on the chair and he lost her. Okay, now the other one. Yes, I know. She's down in her little... Tinky. The spin will get you. I've really enjoyed talking to you, Iron Butterfly, last couple days. She does. That is a fancy, like, scratcher for their nails. I got it at, I think Marshall's or TJ Maxx. I got it, obviously, because it was pink and had flowers on it, but it's actually a scratcher for the nails. But she likes it. That is Tinker. This one here is Tater. That's Tinker Tot. This is Tater Tot. And then we have a bonus cat, which Smudgy, which I am looking for a home for Smudge. And I know I keep saying that and people keep telling me they want him. It does match. It does. We have a lot of pink things in this house. Also known as Face Licker. Oh, this one headbutts. Oh, there's Smudge's lawyer. Do you know I just can't, I can't keep him. You need somebody that is okay with his invading your personal space. But yeah, I've been procrastinating at finding, they're not hater dots. You're a good one. That's a good one. I like it. But I did want to I just kind of wanted to come on and chat because I have to tell you that um there were a couple. Now granted, I've missed a lot this week, but my friends are keeping me updated. The people, the discords I'm in are keeping me updated, but um there are probably a couple of times I could have done the slot yell and curse that I did that one time and said, I'll never do I'll never do that again. I really could have lost. I had some pretty strong opinions. But I think I was just giving my opinion on everything that is crazy right now. And some behavior crosses the line, and not all behavior or misbehavior is equal. And there's been some really severe. Oh, thank you. I love to draft letters too. I love to draft letters for people. um, but I just check myself because that that's not they can talk about me. There's nothing with opinions, but listen, when I blew up in Slot's live, Slot had a lot of hardcore fans, like really hardcore, and I took a beating. I took a beating from people that were really pissed off at me and unfollowed me. Mama Top blocked me after that argument because of the language I used and the way that I reacted. And I think I'm still blocked, but I think that's what if you are on live enough and you give people a glimpse into what your patterns are. Does anybody need to see Tater's butt? Come on. Come on. You can lay there. He's trying to get himself comfy. People can at least see, and you can also see when people step out of character. And I think people do get grace when they step out of character temporarily, or at least they deserve some patience for people to see where they're going to go with it. Are they going to stay in that just stay? And I think that's what we've seen here is we've seen some people step out of character, and for what reason? Thunk always encourages my bad behavior. We exchanged roles for a day. You see how it goes. Like if the person is really stepping out into this, yeah, this one is, both he and Tinker are extremely cuddly, but they're not invasive like Smudge. Not like Smudge respects no personal space at all. Oh, that's nice. Sunflower. But anyway, I guess I decided that I wasn't I was just going to keep watching and see, see what happens. See, now look. Look how cute he is. Like, how? He's got his face covered up, his little... I gotta get out their winter... Tatey has winter hats. He has bonnets. He has knit bonnets. Yeah. I mean, I think, honestly, I think anybody that has been watching me stream, whether it's Hippie Harley or Gabby, I mean, at some point, we're all here for a little bit of drama and, excitement. I really need to get to Wits Live. I don't want to confront anyone or... But, okay. The orange cat lore. See, I am not a lifelong cat lady. I only became one by default in 2012. But the lore is that they're bad, naughty. They run the program and they do what they want to do. Yeah, my daughter at college, this little kitten, it was the calico, and she wasn't even a nice, like, she was grumpy. I'm the only person that she liked, period. Tater, that's what, like, Tatey is, he was a handful, but he was abandoned. He was abandoned a couple days old, him and his brothers and sisters, by his mother in a garage. It's such a sad abandoned baby story. But he was bottle fed. Throws a lifeline. Okay. Okay. I just, so just to wrap it up, at least, like, where we stand, all this side, I mean, I shared some of my opinions, but I'm not going to try to convince anyone to do anything, follow, unfollow, block, whatever. I'm not, but in terms of Casey and working with her and her information, I told you, I've told her to get it to 3 people that are, that seem interested, whether it is outside of TikTok or on TikTok, just, showing some of the lies that Kelly has told and her involvement in things. And so I look forward to that. And Tiffany did say, I think she did make a video saying that there would be a live, but she wants to be organized. I'm not sure if PPP is doing her own live or not, but we'll just wait and see. I know some people that are allergic to... You see the cat hair flying everywhere right now. Hey everyone, sorry if you're just coming in. There's not really a recap other than oh, that is a good question. Whether Gabby's coming back. Um, um, I think this is totally my speculation. I believe that her the consultation or whatever, I believe that she hired an attorney not just for that hearing, but to perhaps pursue other things. I don't know whether that's against TikTok creators or whether it's DCF. I'm not sure. And I feel like Gabby is not waiting for resolution on that, but maybe to know completely where she stands. I still don't believe that she has been, well, that's true. She's around, but I'm specifically talking about live. I don't believe that she's been court ordered. I think that I think it right now. I just think it's the way this atmosphere is. I think it's not that easy just to pretend like she always has, like nothing has happened. I think I just don't think that's easy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I do. Yeah, I do expect her to come back. Yeah, I don't know how you. I don't know. I don't. I guess I would have expected maybe her to try to build a smaller community of people that have stuck with her, maybe gone private, but um but then again, I realize Gabby is like an all or nothing kind of person, and she has never been satisfied with small loyal circles at all. She likes the masses and attention from a lot of people. But anyway, it was good checking in with everyone. There's so much. The gaslighting is just beyond anything I've ever seen. Like straight up gaslighting. And it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's definitely, I hear people say it's a clue. It's a clue when Danny goes live. Usually you can judge what's to come. It's a pattern. We're good at picking up patterns. We're good at picking up patterns. But yeah, Kim, I like that term, criminal level gaslighting. I'm gonna go try to get some messages. I wish TikTok, maybe I should use it on my laptop. It is so confusing. It's so hard on a mobile device to keep I think the thing that makes me crazy, and let me just say this. Sometimes people will apologize and say, "Oh, I didn't mean to send you that like TikTok or share that." TikTok does that. I will go in to answer a message and I see that I've shared something a week ago when I didn't. I think it's just random, but like it almost creates like a message for every time somebody shares something, and it's so overwhelming. I don't do good with huge, overwhelming inboxes, but it was really good to see everybody. Thank you for the pink hearts. And I'm going to get on, before I procrastinate, I'm going to get on the things I want to do on my Think Pink account, and stay tuned. First up will be the mod appreciation and playing the Two Truths and a in a lie game. So have a wonderful evening. I'll see you in the streets. I'll be hanging. One last thing. Please don't go give anybody, whether it's Kaylee or anybody else. I appreciate the support. Don't go to battle on my behalf. I appreciate what you're doing, but just don't give them. I don't care. I don't care. So, yep, I will continue. I have so much cat material to show. Like I have since Tinker's birth 7 or 8 months ago, but it's like every single day there's Tink in the cabinet. I was unloading the dishwasher or loading the dishwasher. As a matter of fact, I could hear the water running. I'd never even turned the water off to film her. But anyway, thanks for the support. They appreciate it as well. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you soon.